Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Chong, joined by Chong. Now, Chong, market has been down actually since October this year, since the government announced budget. But today we saw a slight uptick today. It ended 3.56 points higher, or 0.21% higher, to 1,660 points. Value was at 2.12 billion ringgit. Volume was at about 3.13 billion shares. Now, Reuters actually came out with a report saying that investors are eyeing those baton stocks. But from what I see, I think investors they are probably spending their spare cash buying stocks. What do you think?
Well, I mean, December is traditionally kind of like a little bit of a Santa Claus rally. Clearly, this year is no different from other years, and you would see a lot of big caps. They've been battered down, right? The blue chips, the Maybanks, the Sime Darbys, the CIMBs have been back down. But if you look lower down into the thematic middle players and the small players, they've all been on a huge surge. Any company that has been a beneficiary of the higher US dollar versus the ringgit, the exporters, the top gloves, the Supermaxes, the VS Industries of this world, they've all been flying. So it's kind of like a 2 or 3 tier market right now.
Talking about US dollar has actually weakened slightly against a basket of currency. And also, when you look at ringgit strengthened against dollar at about 4.34, and because of US dollar strengthening, commodity like gold, it has been climbing, and also CPO prices, it has been climbing as well. CPO was at about 2,000 ringgit, $292 ringgit a ton.
Yeah, there's been a slight recovery. That's good news, clearly, for inventories, even though, for the prices, even though inventories are at a record high at the October level. So we'll have to wait and see, because obviously crude is having a very tough time. And people are talking, actually there's two camps of thought, right? Either they think it's going to stick at $40 a barrel, or they think it's going to go to $60 a barrel, depending on demand. So it depends on how you look at it.
Now, actually, Asian shares are also climbed today because of the weakening of the US dollar. Nikkei 225 up 1.07%, Shanghai Composite Index up 1.36%. Now, let's move on to Hotstock of the day. We have Chong Motor Holdings Berhad. Now, everybody is aware that Chong is a franchise holder and exclusive distributor of these two new brands, not new brands, Nissan and Renault in Malaysia.
Yeah, of course, Nissan, one of the smaller, junior Japanese brands, and Renault cars. But they've had a huge quarter. They had basically a 19% increase in revenue and a 15 times higher net profit in the third quarter, 28 million ringgit. Basically, they benefited from higher sales of X-Trail SUVs. Now, if you haven't seen the X-Trail SUV, it's actually quite a good-looking car. It's a soft roader, of course, what they call it, but they launched that in January. So, of course, the sales throughout the year have really helped Nissan.
Have you test drive it?
No, but I've heard a lot of good stories about it. Obviously I go to a lot of websites and read about these car reviews. They've actually sold a lot of X-Trails this year. So that's really, really helped the Chong profits.
Share price also increased to an intraday high of 2.98 today because of the third quarter profit increase. Now, CIMB actually say that the profit actually in line with their expectations, but margins actually went down to 3.4% due to sales and promotional activities.
Yeah, so of course margins actually dropped to 3.4% because they've had to basically tell more people to buy their cars. And I think next year, basically, the Navara truck, tagline, mother trucker, right? With a T, not an F. It's supposed to boost sales for Nissan and Chong next year, so we'll have to wait and see as well.
So MHDV actually have the same comment as well. They maintain neutral on this company with unchanged target price of 2.9. And they actually came out with reports saying that for quarter 1/5 this year will be critical to determine whether the revision cycle has reached a bottom, as it will reflect the 11% spike in US dollar.
Of course, I've got the currency exchange is what's been hitting car makers. A lot of manufacturers are going to raise prices next year. So actually, we just saw car sales numbers come out from the AAA, from MAA. I think 3.5% increase to about 55,000 units for the month. Not bad, but that's obviously a pre-price increase in January 2016.
Now, to take it all home, Chong Holdings Berhad, Motor Holdings Berhad third quarter operating profit surged 15 times to 28 million ringgit thanks to sales of X-Trail SUV. New Navara trucks seen boosting commercial vehicle sales in 2016. They just launched it in December this year. However, outlook seemed challenging due to weaker sentiment. Now, let's move on to stocks with momentum. We have Nationwide Express today, which is packed with negative momentum by the Edge Research. Shares surged 15% to 92 cents today. Market cap at 55 million. Actually, this company is a very small company if you compare with other big boys like Tasco, Berhad, Century Logistics, and GD Express. And from what I saw from the past articles, I think a lot of all these company logistics firms, they have been trying to venture out, trying to diversify from logistics sector to other businesses.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the Nationwide Express move this afternoon, there was no reason at all for their increase, and basically, don't know what's been driving the share price today. But as you say, it's one of the smaller logistics guys, and in this business, logistics and haulage, efficiency is all about it's all about efficiency and basically cost control, how well you manage it. Margins are painfully thin, as you say. Some other logistics players have moved into property development to diversify their earnings. One of the best-known examples was Yinson from Yinson Holdings. A few years ago, they went from haulage to basically
oil and gas.
floating platforms with the Vietnamese government. They made a huge success of it. So Nationwide have got to make a tough call whether they're going to stick with it or not, because it's been 3 years of losses.
Yeah, Tiong has also ventured into property segment as well. But coming back to this company, Nationwide Express, the company has actually been loss-making since FY 2013. Now, when I dig out some of the articles in April this year, MD Rosilawati Basil say that they are targeting, actually not this year, sorry, April 2014, they are targeting revenue growth of 10%, double digit. But the thing is, when we look at their profit, net loss was actually at 0.04 million, which is about 400,000 ringgit. Revenue down 2.1% to 23.2 million ringgit. So obviously they didn't hit their target.
They didn't hit their target last year, yeah, because they were guiding for a 10% increase on top line. But the full year numbers, I think they were 93 million ringgit in 2014. They actually 99 in 2014, 93 million top line in the year. So they actually didn't meet. They actually dropped the revenue as well. So for the full year, 155,000 ringgit loss. Bad news. The losses have continued as well to Q1.
Just to wrap it up, the share actually surged today, even with no news flow at all, highest level in 6 months. The company has been loss-making in the past 3 years, continuing into first quarter next FY16. It had guided for a 10% top line increase last year, which did not happen.